Oh yeah!
What's happening, Internet? My name's Lucas, aka Macho Emolga, and just coming at you for a really quick Sunday video to explain my draft for the PBL, which just ended. It's 10:56 at night. I'm incredibly tired. It's been a long day, but I wanted to get this out for you guys tomorrow, which will be Sunday, which is now today, so it's not really tomorrow. But anyway, I want to get this out for you guys so that you could kind of firsthand understand my draft, and everyone that's kind of supposed to do this. So even though I'm not super into making a video right now, I'm still going to go over my draft for the PBL and kind of explain what it is, how I got into it, and then kind of go through my thought process. So anyway, anyone that's not already if you're familiar with the GBA, it's essentially exactly like that. There's a draft process, there's preseason, regular season, everything like that. If you're not into the GBA, listen to this because I'm going to explain basically what it is. It's essentially a Pokemon battling league where you have points to draft a team of 11 Pokemon. You can only bring 6 every week to matches. And essentially it's just a competitive battling Pokemon league. You make a team, you come up with your logo and everything, and you kind of go from there. I am going to be head coach of the Seattle Sea Dots, which I'm super excited about. The thumbnail kind of had the logo that I worked on in Photoshop, so I'm super excited about that. I really wanted that name. When I first started watching the GBA like a year ago, I decided that if I was ever going to get into a league, I spent like days thinking about what I would name my team if I ever got into a league, and the Seattle Sea Dots is what it was. Even though I'm not a huge Seattle Seahawks fan, I thought that name was really awesome, and Seedot is a really cute Pokemon. How could you not like Seedot? But anyway, I don't really know how the GBA drafting system works. Basically, how the PBL works, the Pokemon Battle League, is that you get 1,000 points to draft a team, and like different Pokemon in different tiers are worth different amount of points. So you get 1,000 points, and you have to draft 10 Pokemon. Ooh, the sniffles and the allergies are coming in. And like OU Pokemon are worth 200 points, and you can have a max of 2. And then you can have an unlimited number of the rest of them, but you have to play within your points. So BL Pokemon are 100, UU is 75, RU is 50, and NU is 25. And then there is no PU or anything like that. Anything below NU is still considered NU. Anyway, basically that's how it works. I did my draft. Also, before the draft ever started, where we picked our 10 Pokemon, you got a Mega, and your Mega was worth 0 points. We just had a random. The draft order for the Mega round was entirely random, and then there was a new randomized order for the regular draft round. I ended up being pick 6 out of 12. 12 both times, which was super lucky. So I was the middle pick both times. Which makes it kind of hard, honestly, because you're like waiting the longest period sometimes. You're waiting a consistently long period in between picks. So I could pick something that I planned on synergizing with a different Pokemon, and by the time it got around to that next pick, it could have been taken, which didn't end up happening too many times. It happened like once or twice, which was kind of unfortunate. But I'm looking at my team right now. If you're wondering why I keep looking down, I keep on looking down at my team because I have to talk about them. And also, I'm going to put up their animations somewhere on the screen while I talk about each one of them, which will be fun and super easy editing. But anyway, I still have to do it tonight, and I'm not super excited about it. So let's get into it. For the Mega round, I chose Mega Gyarados as my Mega. This is because I wanted a Mega basically that can stand a Mega Evolution on a team. To me, I oftentimes don't use teams that have Mega Evolutions because I play in the lower tiers a lot. And like in NU, the only Mega is Mega Audino, which I will never use because I hate Mega Audino. And I'm so glad that no one decided to pick it up in this league, even though it's an NU Pokemon, so why would you waste your Mega pick on that? Anyway, I picked Mega Gyarados because when I pick a Mega, I want to pick a Mega that can stand on its own. And Mega Gyarados, after it Mega evolves, it's already a flying type, so it doesn't get hit by like Sticky Web and stuff like that, which is already a huge plus when it first comes in. Also in the PBL, just like in the GBA, if you have a Mega Pokemon, you have to Mega evolve at the first turn it's out or switch out. So I can't like have Gyarados and have Mega Gyarados. Someone else picked up Gyarados. But when it first comes in, it's not going to hit by spikes. It's not going to hit by toxic spikes. It's not getting hit by a sticky web. So when it comes in, it's already avoiding a lot of hazards right away if you're trying to like send it in and then sweep. And that's how I play Mega Gyarados, is that I leave it in the back until it's time. Basically, when Mega Gyarados comes out for me, I'm expecting it to never come out. When it goes out onto the field, I'm expecting it never to come out because I'm expecting it to set up and sweep. If I bring it out, it's because I feel like I've already done enough in that battle to set it up to be sweeping after one or two Dragon Dances. And Dragon Dance is the reason I picked Mega Gyarados. I will very seldom bring a Mega Gyarados set that does not involve the move Dragon Dance. Because Mega Gyarados stands alone so well, like it can fit into a lot of teams really, really well because it is a standalone sweeper. Mega Gyarados with max attack, with what's it called? Dragon Dance. It gets such a wide variety of moves between Ice Fang, Waterfall, Earthquake, Crunch. So many different things you can put on it to take advantage of that move set. I think will be really awesome in this style of format because I can customize what Gyarados I want to bring to my teams every single week. And maybe I will not throw Dragon Dance on it one week just if that's what someone's expecting. Which is really awesome. Also, Mega Gyarados can make a pretty decent wall set if I'm trying to get cheeky and bring some kind of Mega Gyarados wall with like Rest or something, which I don't feel like I ever would, but I could because that's an option. So for my Mega pick, I wanted to pick that could stand on its own, that could really fit into any team. Unlike some other Megas that are kind of cheeky, kind of nichey, like Mega Sableye needs a lot to make it work. I was considering drafting Mega Sableye and then putting Chansey Core or Blissey Core somewhere in there. But I decided if I could not wait to draft my Mega, like in the GBA, like your Mega had to be your first pick in this draft format. So if I couldn't wait to pick up my Mega, I wanted something that could definitely be a sweeper, and that was Mega Gyarados for me. And this video's already getting to 6 minutes and 30 seconds, so I'm going to kind of speed up the rest of this again, because I really like to talk about this kind of stuff as I'm doing right now, so it can get kind of rambly sometimes. Anyway, my first overall pick, number 6 overall pick in the draft, was Jirachi. And the reason for this is that my first pick was going to be Mew, Jirachi, or Victini. Those were the three, and that's because Victini kind of in the back, but Jirachi and Mew mainly because they have base 100 stats across the board and they can do anything. Jirachi can be a wall set, and the reason I wanted to pick Mew and Jirachi were available. I wanted to pick Jirachi because it's Heart Steel type and Serene Grace. You can bring Jirachi as a wall set. It gets Stealth Rocks. It gets T-Wave, I'm pretty sure. Obviously, it gets Toxic. So it's super good as a wall set. It also gets recovery options in Wish as a Wish Passer, which is super awesome. So as a wall, it's also really great. I also like to use it as a Choice Scarfer because Zen Headbutt, Iron Head, Serene Grace lulls makes people want to just quit the game. And so that's a super annoying set, but super great. If you don't like it, you should have drafted it. Sorry. After I drafted it, someone said, and I don't remember who it was, but someone said in our draft chat, ban the Scarf now. And first of all, no. If you don't want to deal with Scarf Jirachi, you should have drafted it. And that's probably what I'm planning on primarily running with Jirachi. I drafted it to be an offensive threat more than a defensive threat. I drafted things later on to deal with my defensive holes. So that's Jirachi. It's super versatile. My first pick, I was going to pick something that can be super versatile, and with base 100 stats across the board, Jirachi can be what you need it to be each week, and that's what I like about it. Second overall pick, shocked, absolutely shocked it made it all the way to the second round, was Terrakion. And that is because Terrakion, Choice Scarf, Choice Band, Life Orb, doesn't matter what you put on it, Terrakion kills something with close combat. There will not be a week that you bring Terrakion that Terrakion does not get a kill. So I saw it there. I wasn't planning on drafting Terrakion. I had no intention on drafting Terrakion. I picked Jirachi as my first overall pick, and I saw how long I had to wait, and I was like, there's no way it's going to last all the way to me. And somehow it did. I don't know how. But when you see Terrakion there and you have a chance to draft it, you draft it. I mean, that's just common sense. So that's going to be I drafted it because it was there. It was a huge, huge offensive threat that I could not let pass by me. It's in BL, so I didn't count as one of my 2 OUs, so I could still keep an OU Pokemon for later, which I didn't actually end up taking until my very last pick, because at this point, everyone else had taken an OU already. So I was like, well, if they can't take another OU, like, no, there were still some people that could take OUs at this point, but I was like, if they're all going to take OUs, and I don't have to, and I can pretty much just, at this point, I'm just going to play to what I can play in the OU tier. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take every single thing I want in the lower tier, so if they can't pick another OU Pokemon, then for my last pick, I'll finally take my OU Pokemon. And actually ended up almost not taking OU Pokemon. I almost planned on just getting it free agency, but I ended up going with it because I wanted it. You'll learn about what Pokemon that is later on. So anyway, Terrakion, second overall pick because it hits hard. That's it. It kills something every game. So yeah, Third overall pick was Rotom Heat, and this was because Rotom Heat. Also, this is my third straight Pokemon. I didn't realize the time until after the fact. My third straight Pokemon that's a common Scarfer, which I kind of like, kind of don't like, because it means that like I have three Pokemon that are common Scarfers, and I'm not going to be bringing three Scarfers to matches, but it kind of like brings some diversity and kind of like people thinking what's going to be my Scarf Pokemon every week, which I like. I pretty much got it for weakness support. Fire and Electric covers up a lot of the weaknesses that I had so far. Like, what was it? At this point, I was pretty weak to ground, and I got a ground immunity with Levitate. Um, I didn't really like fire so far. With Jirachi, it resists the fire. I didn't like the electric moves with Mega Gyarados. It resists the electric. Overall, I think it could be a pretty decent wall set. I also think it could be pretty good with choice specs. I think it could be pretty decent with a lot of different items. Um, Maybe even considered bringing some kind of Assault Vest set with Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, Overheat, and some other coverage move that I don't really know of yet. So I think I could do a lot of different things with Rotom Heat, some pretty original things with Rotom Heat, which I'm excited to do. And also, that's why I picked it, because it supported what I had so far. I probably waited to draft Rotom Heat, since Rotom Wash actually never even ended up getting picked up, probably. But yeah, I picked it at number 3 because I didn't see anything else I super wanted at that point, and because I feel like it really supported my team that I had. Next up at the 4th overall pick, I got my first official wall that I plan on using definitely as a special wall almost at all times, and that's Florges. Not entirely surprised that Florges made it to number 4, but with Fairy typing that's only weak to Poison and Steel, that's perfectly covered by Jirachi if I did decide to bring like a physical defensive Jirachi, especially defensive Florges. They really well cover up each other's weaknesses, which is super nice. I wasn't exactly surprised that it dropped all the way to round 4, but I also probably could have waited to draft it based on the way people were drafting, but I really, really, really wanted Florges, so I picked it up. I love its typing. Pure Fairy type being only weak to Poison and Steel is easily coverable with other Pokemon that you may bring. It's my second Wish Passer, but it also gets options of Synthesis. So I like that it has 2 different forms of recovery that I could possibly bring. Like I could go Wish Protect, Toxic, Moonblast, maybe Toxic or Aromatherapy. But since I already have another Wish Passer in Jirachi, I can now have the option to run Synthesis and then Toxic, Aromatherapy, Moonblast, get all 3 of those moves in there, which I like to run. And I prefer Synthesis Florges over Wish Pass Florges anyway, so I thought that was really awesome. I thought it was really awesome that it would be a good special wall to cover up what I needed it to cover on the special side. And also it's super bulky in the special side. It can't take a physical hit too well if you don't invest into it. It also can be a Calm Mind set, which I do plan on running at some point. It could be a bulky Calm Mind sweeper with Synthesis, Calm Mind, Moonblast, and like Energy Ball, Psychic, something like that, depending on what you're facing every week. Which I'm really excited about bringing that. Honestly, at some point I will. I'm not obviously going to tell anybody when I'm going to do that. I'm planning on using it mostly as a special wall. But the theme of my draft mostly is that every one of my Pokemon can run at least one different set, other than Terrakion. Terrakion will never see anything other than pure offense. Number 5, at this point we're getting to the middle of the draft, and I'm starting to look at things that I don't have covered and things that I don't have weaknesses to so far. So the number 5 pick, I notice that I have 2 weaknesses to Fairy, but I have no weaknesses to Ice, and I have no weaknesses to Dragon. So automatically points me to putting some kind of Dragon type on my team, since the 2 most common super effective types, as I keep on scratching my nose. I'm sorry, allergies are really bad right now. I didn't take my allergy pill today, so they're bad. They're very bad. So just kind of try to ignore me fiddling with my nose this entire video. Where was I? Anyway, number 5 pick, Noivern. Noivern is an interesting Pokemon. It's an RU. It dropped from UU. It's ridiculously fast. So if I am timid, max speed, unless something is a Choice Scarf, it's probably not going to be outspeeding me. And I really like it. I really like it as the special set with 3 special moves and U-turn plus Frisk, so that I can put it in as a lead, frisk the opposing Pokemon to see if it's also Choice Scarf, and then if it is Choice Scarf, I can switch out. If it's not Choice Scarf, I can U-turn, do all kinds of stuff like that. I'm also a big fan of Physical Noivern, and I realize that sounds insane because it has base 70 attack. And I realize it's probably insane to tell people I could possibly running Physical Noivern in this league. But Adamant, Choice Band, Physical Noivern. I'm not going to say what movesets I'm possibly going to be running because I really like the movesets I came up with this thing when I tested it on Smogan a couple weeks ago. And no one ever expects Physical Noivern, and so it can put in some work if used the right way. But since it doesn't have great attack stat, if it's not used the right way, obviously it's not going to do great. So I'm planning on running Physical Noivern at some point. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm planning on running it at some point. So that's that. Obviously, there's the basic choice spec set, which I'm probably going to be running most of the time. Also, possibly Life Orb, something along those lines. Number 6 overall pick. Somewhat surprised it made to 6. My nose itches so bad. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about my nose. Wow, that was a really weird, snorting noise. Wow, this video's at 16 minutes. Anyway, number 6 overall pick, I picked up Amoonguss, which I was more than fairly surprised Amoonguss made it the number 6 overall pick when people are looking for the value picks. I mean, I feel like people would be, at that point, really looking at what they can get in RU, and a lot of people ended up losing, a lot of people ended up having no points left at the end of this draft. In my final pick, I had 250 points left, so I'd only used 3/4 of my points in 9 picks, which easily allowed me to get that last OU Pokemon I wanted. But no one was looking for value picks at this point, I feel like. So I was able to get a Moongus at 6, which can be a great special wall, could be a great physical wall. Gets Synthesis for recovery, gets Giga Drain, gets Sludge Bomb, gets Toxic, gets Spore. Love Spore. So basically, I have a lot of different sets I can run with that. I do have my own kind of original set with it that I'm not going to really speak about because I've already kind of put Physical Noivern out of the bag. But I do have a special set that I like to run with it, which I'm going to be doing like a what I'm bringing kind of thing every single week. And I'm going to explain kind of when the league starts at the end of this video. But I will be doing like a introduction to what I'm bringing this week kind of video before every one of my matches. So at some point you will see the special Emolga set. Maybe. If the opponent's matchup is right for it, I'll bring it. If it's not, obviously I'm not going to bring it. Number 7. This one shocked me more than Terrakion. Number 7. We are well over halfway through the draft. Diggersby. Diggersby has not been picked up at this point. Once again, was not planning on drafting it. But I get into my draft. I'm getting to this point in my draft. I'm kind of looking at the spreadsheet at what's available. And I look at BL, and Diggersby hasn't been taken. Huge power Diggersby is too good. Quick attack with Choice Band on this thing, with that stab, with all that attack power. It hurts a lot of things. And after I picked it, the person that picked directly after me cursed me out because they were going to take Diggersby, but they were just one pick too slow to the punch, which is oddly satisfying. But once again, this is essentially exactly like Terrakion in the second round. I wasn't planning on picking it. I saw it there, and it can do one thing, but it does that one thing really well, and that's kill things. Diggersby with quick attack, earthquake, return, or double edge, and some fourth attacking move for coverage. Oh my god, does it hit hard. More than likely, the way I like to run Diggersby is since it's not very fast anyway, and it gets quick attack as priority, I will usually run either Choice Band or Assault Vest on it. For that bit of extra bulk, since it does have really good HP. I essentially use it the exact same way I use a Azumarill, and that's Choice Band or Assault Vest, except for Diggersby doesn't get Belly Drum. And if Diggersby got Belly Drum, oh my god, that'd be so overpowered. Anyway, review of the number 7 overall pick. Wasn't planning on taking it, saw it there, decided I wanted it. Moving on to the 8th overall pick, and this is the pick that I am least happy with in my draft. And it's not a bad Pokemon even. At number 8, I picked Chandelure. And the reason for it is that I really wanted Ghost typing. On my team, somewhere I really wanted Ghost typing, and I didn't want to take Sableye as my other OU Mon, and I didn't want to take Spirit Tomb because even though it's only mono weak to Fairy, I already had a lot of Fairy weaknesses, honestly. Like, looking back on it, I did have some pretty serious Fairy weaknesses, and I didn't want to add to that. So I picked Chandelure. It resists the Fairy, which was nice. but it's a good Pokemon. It just doesn't synergize well with my team. Like it only really does one thing really well, and that is using it as either a choice scarf or choice spec style of set. As well, it gets pretty limited move pool, so I'm probably going to be running Flamethrower, Shadow Ball, or Flamethrower or Fire Blast and Shadow Ball in every single one of my sets, which I'm okay with when you have power like Terrakion or Diggersby. And Chandelure does have base 145 special attack, which is super high, but I just don't know about it. I try not to draft too many of the same types, and I already had a Fire type, which I know it's the eighth overall pick, so you're not gonna be able to get get a different typing all across the board. I don't know. I'm not sure about it. I really like Chandelure as a Pokemon. I really like using it in UU. I'm not sure about it in this format. We have 2 preseason games before the regular season starts, and then after preseason, we get a chance to do trades and free agency. So I might be dropping Chandelure, but I'm planning on almost definitely bringing it to both my preseason matches so I can see how it does. And if it does well and synergizes with my team the way I don't think it will be staying. If not, I'm not sure. Moving on, the number 9 overall pick is my only Enumon, and if you guys have seen my past 2 Wi-Fi battles, you know why I picked it, and that's Regice. Regice, I love using, and I'm not going to say, once again, I'm not going to be saying what kind of sets I'm going to be bringing, but I wanted an ice typing. All the other ice typings that I possibly would want had been taken, like Mamoswine had been taken, Weavile had been taken. So those were some mons that I was definitely planning on using, but I never really got around to picking because there were just things that I wanted more at the time that I could pick them. So I picked Regice in this slot as my one NU Pokemon that I ended up taking. And it's because with how high its defenses are, it makes up for it having a pretty crappy typing in Mono Ice, which doesn't synergize super well with my team. But basically, I picked it because I really wanted the Ice typing, and from using it in NU, I know what it can do in NU. Now, will that transfer to mixed OU battles like we have in the PBL? I have no idea. I'm going to be using it a lot in the preseason and see how it fares. It's Regice and Chandelure. Those are the 2 Pokemon that I'm, out of my 11 Pokemon that I picked, Regice and Chandelure are the 2 that I'm not super confident in, so I'll be using a lot in the preseason to kind of test them out. And now at the 22-minute mark, 22.5-minute mark, as I look down at my timer, we finally get to the last pick, and this is my final OU pick. I looked at what was left in OU. I was thinking about not taking anything, but then I realized I don't have an electric type. Mega Manectric had already been taken. I did not take Mega Manectric as my Mega. And while I do really, really, really like Manectric, I didn't think it was worth the OU pick, that I could just kind of slide by without an OU pick, and then maybe if I did want to drop Chandelure, I'd have the points to pick up Manectric if I wanted it. But Thunderous Eye happened. Thunderous Incarnate happened. I saw it. I really like the ground. It gives me 3 ground immunities in my team. I'm not too worried about it having the same typing as Noivern in the flying typing, at least, because flying typing is never a bad typing to have possibly more than one of. I really wanted the electric typing. I love having Prankster. I picked this thing because Prankster. There is still like Swagger Claws, Double Team Claws style of thing in the PBL. To what I know, if they don't have it in the PBL, you better be darn certain I'm going to be doing everything I can to make sure they put it in the PBL. Even though I'm the only person, there's the only 2 Prankster Pokemon that were taken were Thunderous Eye and Whimsicott by someone, but Klefki and regular Sableye did not get picked up, which I was somewhat surprised by. So, if Double Team and Swagger Claws are not in this thing, we're going to be bringing Double Team Thunderous at some point. But Thunderous Eye is super awesome for Prankster, getting Thunder Wave and stuff like that. So if someone wants to set up sticky webs on me, I know someone picked Galvantula. If someone wants to try to do that to me, I do have Thunder Wave there in the back to use. Thunderous Eye doesn't get Air Slash, which I didn't realize. The only stab flying move it gets, I think, is Hurricane. I think it might actually get Air Slash. I'm not entirely sure on the moveset. I've never used Thunderous Eye competitively. I've used Thunderous T in VGC a couple times, which I liked, but I've never used Thunderous Eye. So I saw it, and even though I'm not, every single one of the Pokemon I've taken prior to this, I've used a pretty decent amount, so I know what they can do, and I know how to use them pretty well. Thunderous Eye, I am not entirely sure about, but I saw the typing and I really wanted it. I thought it covered up my team pretty well. It synergizes pretty well with the rest of my team. And Volt Switch action, Thunderbolt, all that is never bad to have on a team. So like set like I don't know if it gets air slash, like maybe like Thunderbolt, air slash, Volt Switch, T Wave, or Thunderbolt, air slash, taunt, T Wave, something along those lines. Could be super interesting to bring. I think it'd be a pretty decent lead, um, especially if it has Volt Switch, like taunt, Volt Switch to stop any like Stealth Rock lead, stuff like that. So I'm super excited about that. With Prankster, it can come in and it can taunt any like potential sweepers to make sure they can't set up, which I really like. So that's why I picked Thunderous, because I saw Prankster, I saw typing, and I decided that I really wanted it. I could have left it to free agency, but I didn't want to. I want it now. So that's the draft. That's kind of my thought process. I've fulfilled my PBL duties in explaining that. I'm going to get a quick drink of chocolate milk, which I always have next to me when I go to bed. Because I'm going to bed, essentially. There's no watch there. Like 10 minutes after I'm done recording this video. I'm really, really excited for the PBL. From the time I'm recording this, it's 2 weeks until our first preseason matches because people need time to breed and stuff. So they need time to breed up their team. So it's going to be 2 weeks from the time this video goes up. Technically 13 days because our draft was yesterday when this video goes up. But 2 weeks until the first preseason matches start. There's 2 preseason games. Then we have a time for free agency and trades. I don't think we take off that week. I think that's just like a time in the middle there. Then there's 10 regular season games. Similar to the GBA, there's 2 conferences, 2 divisions. Each one of those conferences for us, it's the Hoenn and the Kalos. I'm in the Y division with Mr. Turkey Sub and TCF Eric, I think is like his name. I'm pretty sure that's it. But we're in the Y division. I think it's the strongest division. Those 2 are the 2 that actually approached me about joining the league. They're both from what I've seen on the channels, they both appear to be pretty adept with Wi-Fi battling. So I think it's definitely the strongest division in the stronger of the 2 conferences. So do I think I'm going to win it? Probably, maybe, probably not. I don't really know. I don't know how good any of these guys are competitive battling. All I know is that I'm decent-ish at it, I feel like. And honestly, this is more of a learning experience for me. I've always wanted to be in one of these styles of leagues, and it's a chance for me to do that. So as we reach the 28-minute mark for this draft recap video, I don't really have anything else to say. Do I expect that the majority of the audience has made it to this point? No. But for the people that did stick it out through and watch the end of this video, thank you so much for doing it. I don't really have anything else. So have you guys an amazing Sunday. This has been a special Sunday episode from me, Lucas, aka Macho Emolga. I'm going to go to sleep.
Oh yeah!